Hello, I'm Sarah from Peak Physiotherapy and thank you for joining us for what is the last video in our A to Z Dance Physio series. I hope that you found the content that we put out so far useful, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button below and also select the alarm bell icon to receive notifications of any further content that we put out. By process of elimination, we've reached the letter Z, and today's title is Zip It Up, and we're going to talk about the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor muscles span the pelvic bones from front to back and side to side, and they have various important functions, including support of the pelvic organs. They have a role in urinary and bowel control and continence, for example when we're dancing, jumping, doing more dynamic activity. And they also have a strong link with one of the deep turnout muscles, so as dancers, working a lot in turnout can have an effect and transfer forces to the pelvic floor. They also create some stability and transfer forces from the trunk and the legs, so have a really vital role in dance and movement generally. We can have various issues within the pelvic floor muscle complex, and that can include weakness or underactivity, poor muscle coordination, or overactivity or tightness and spasm. And problems can include things such as stress or urge incontinence and pelvic pain. They can also be linked to other injuries such as overuse or overload injuries, direct trauma, and other compensation injuries to do with the hip and the lower back. They can also be linked with issues to do with general hypermobility and ligament laxity, such as we talked about in our video a couple of days ago. Treatment of pelvic floor issues has to be specific to the nature of the problem, but we do see a lot of clients at Peak Physiotherapy who have issues with pelvic pain, commonly linked with pregnancy both before and after, so we have a number of members of our team who are experienced in this area. It's important, if you think you have problems with your pelvic floor, to seek the advice of a suitably qualified physio, preferably one who does have experience with pelvic pain. The pelvic floor is a very complicated area, so we're not going to go into all the ins and outs of treatment and management today. However, I will show you just a couple of ways of activating and relaxing those muscles, because having normal function and interaction with the rest of the body is vital to optimise both movement and dance technique and performance. It's possible to activate different areas of the pelvic floor, for example the front muscles and the back muscles, and there's different stages of that contraction that we could work through. However, just to get you started, we'll talk about how to activate the anterior pelvic floor muscles, and the easiest way to do that is just to imagine that you are slowing the flow when you're passing urine. It's important that this is a slowing and not a stopping of the flow. It shouldn't be an abrupt contraction of these muscles or a sharp contraction, as this can cause problems in itself. It's a fairly low level contraction, and you want to initially try and hold this for about 5 seconds, but as you get a little bit stronger and more used to the exercise, build that up to around a 10-second hold, and you can practice this in any position throughout the day to get better control of these muscles. Once you've got used to locating and activating those muscles, we can progress that onto a more functional type exercise, and this will also activate the core, which works very closely in conjunction with the pelvic floor. We're going to go into a bridge, but it's a modified bridge. So come down into a crook lying position and allow your legs to fall out to first position. So you're in a first position plie. From this position, we're then going to push up into a bridge, which is slightly harder than the bridge that we've worked on previously. You will feel this working through your glutes muscles and activate your core at the same time. Hold for a few seconds and then lower down. Make sure that you're getting that sling contraction through the pelvic floor muscles as you lift, and then work the core at the same time. And you can just repeat this a few times to get stronger. There are also a number of nice stretches that can promote some relaxation through the pelvic floor, and these are largely linked to stretching and relaxing the turnout muscles at the hip, which, as we've previously said, have a close relationship with those muscles. One of these is the pigeon stretch, which I'll show you now. Bringing the front leg into an attitude position in front of you, and the back leg similarly attitude behind. Simply curl over your front leg to feel a stretch through that hip and try and relax into the stretch for about 30 seconds. Just allowing the muscles to switch off. And once you've finished that stretch, you can come up and then repeat on the other side. So again, front leg into an attitude, back leg into fourth, stretch over the front leg, feel the stretch through the front hip, relax the pelvic floor and the abdominals and the glutes, and just allow yourself to stretch for about 30 seconds. And I would try that a couple of times on each leg to get proper relaxation. I hope that's given you all a little bit more insight into the working of the pelvic floor and given you some confidence to practice some of those exercises yourself. If you do have any comments or feedback, we'd be happy to hear from you, and our contact details can be found on our website at peakphysiotherapy.com. As I said at the start, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the alarm bell icon to receive further notification for all the new content we'll have coming out soon. If there are any areas you'd like us to cover, get in touch and we'll see what we can do. Thank you for watching the series. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you again soon.